I used to hate parties, and I sucked at talking to more than one person at a time. That was until I figured out how to actually fit in with a group or party. Now, parties for me are just an opportunity to have a good time even. Though I'm fairly introverted now, I want that for you too, even if you're just like me. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did and avoided doing to become the life of nearly any party in group in just 3 steps. Oh Lord, it's good to be here with you, Mr. Now. Let's start with the elephant inside of the room. What actually counts as a group? Well, to me, a group is any more than 2 people interacting with each other. Almost everything I thought that was right about talking to people was almost completely wrong, especially when it came to groups of people. Even worse, I thought being introverted had me doomed forever. Now, let me tell you right now, being an introvert will not stop you. It didn't stop me, and I'll get into why later. You can find groups and parties, meetings, lunches, and dinners, and even when you least expect it. Now, I have a belief that groups are almost always chaotic in nature, but what I mean by that, well, groups don't follow the normal rules of one-on-one conversations. Everyone wants to say something, everyone wants the approval of the group, and sometimes people want to go in different directions. That's okay, and it's completely normal. It's ingrained into us as human beings. It would be great if there was another way, but really, people cut each other off sometimes, and sometimes groups can get heated when groups don't follow the rules of normal conversation. People get demotivated and sometimes even leave. They get frustrated because it goes against everything they thought they knew. So what did I do about this? What kind of rules did I follow instead of what I thought to be right? Well, first of all, I kind of let Jesus take the wheel, and I went with the flow. Let me explain a bit more personally. I found that group conversations were just as fun as one-on-ones, but they weren't as impactful. So I started to worry less about the outcome, but how well I didn't hold on to the one thing that I really wanted to say, and I just went along for the ride. It's a little bit hard to explain, but basically, if there was something really smart that I really, really wanted to say, sometimes I just wouldn't say it. That's because I needed to wait for a time to interject. And if there wasn't, or if the topic was moving too fast to be relevant anymore, I just move on. I just gradually became more comfortable with letting go. But I could really sense when it was my time to talk, and when I did, I just started talking. I did it loudly and confidently, and I also had to make sure, of course, that I wasn't cutting anyone off. This made talking in groups far more enjoyable than way less stressful. However, it brings an important question into play. What do I do instead while I'm not talking? Let me answer that question with another. How great is it when you finally get to say something awesome? How lame is it when it just gets brushed over? How amazing is it when it's heard and taken in by the group? Well, there's a way I made almost everything I said relevant and interesting in the group, as well as making others feel heard. How do you answer questions in a test or exam to the best of your ability? Well, by studying. Obviously, you can study in a group or a party setting by listening in a certain way. Yep, you guessed it. It's active listening. I keep yapping about it because it's genuinely such a selfless and powerful thing. Active listening involves using several tools to make sure that you're making others feel heard while also learning lots and lots about the conversation as well as the people talking. I recommend watching my active listening video after this one so you can understand and harness its true power. But your goal should be to understand the speaker's perspective in an empathetic manner and to communicate, to confirm that you've understood it, or more simply, as I like to describe it, learning about others and their words, with judging them. When I use active listening in my group settings and parties, I built some goodwill, so whenever it was my turn to talk, a lot of people would usually listen. That's because I did the same for them. It's just the right thing to do, but I haven't told you yet about the amazing super mindset that I add to make myself great. At groups and parties, a lot of people think that you need to be good at telling stories. Maybe it's being a really good jokester, or God forbid, being the loudest in the room. When I found out about this, it hit me like a bus, a really big bus. I wanted to be liked, but everyone, and that blinded me from what I really wanted, which was to just have fun and fit in. People in groups want to feel included, like they've done something great for the group, because ultimately that's natural. When I realized this, it changed everything. I realized no amount of funny jokes or interesting stories would make me the life of the party, or even just fit in. Lots of people, including myself, seem to think that they need to say the right thing at the right time, and then everyone will like them. That's not true. That doesn't mean that being good at telling stories or jokes is a bad thing. They're very useful skills, of course, but I realize that listening makes you smarter, and you don't improve yourself or anyone else by yapping all the time about yourself. So what did I do instead? I became a team player. But how did I become a team player? Well, it's easy. Instead of trying to make myself successful, I tried to make sure everyone succeeded. I did this by learning more about them, becoming positive, and bringing that vibe to the table, and bringing empathy and respect. Had to include everyone, even quiet people can be a team player. That's how I did it. Even though I'm an introvert, I realized that it doesn't take much talking or energy to do this. I had selfless goals, and that's what counts. I changed my mindset to be a positive team player. I really hope that this helps you have a more fun and engaging time next time you're at a party or a group. Anyways, see you. Oh, wait, I'll be back next week.